Hey everyone, this is me, Fred, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing off Minecraft 1.11, the Exploration update released on November 14th, 2016. Let's get started. Although I cannot show them off, there are 3 new splashes. Javalicious Edition, should not be played while driving, and you're going too fast. New strings within the game were made available for internationalization. There are 2 new particles, Spit and Totem. There are a few new game moves. We have new weather cycle. If we turn that off, and then it will turn weather to rain for 1 second. It will be here a bit longer than 1 second. Actually, it will be here forever, because it's basically like do daylight cycle, but for weather. Instead of staying 1 time forever, it stays 1 weather forever. We also have max incident cramming, and by default it is 24. So if I were to build a structure like this and spawn 24 chickens into it, and then I jump in there myself, I kind of die. The same thing applies if I spawn another chicken in there, that chicken will die as well. And then if I set the max entity cramming to 1, then everything will die. There are some new enchantments in the game, or to be more specific, curse enchantments. Enchantments with negative effect. We have the Curse of Binding and the Curse of Vanishing. If I apply the Curse of Binding to this diamond chest plate, and then I put it on, and then I go into survival mode and I attempt to take it off, you can hear me clicking, I cannot take off this armor. Players in creative mode are unaffected, obviously. The Curse of Vanishing is basically the exact opposite. If the keep inventory game rule is false, then dying will cause any item with the Curse of Vanishing to vanish. You can't get it back. Cursed tools, armor, and books can be found as loot in some generated structures. We have a new command, /locate. Basically, you do /locate and then you insert a structure. It accepts in city, fortress, mansion, mineshaft, monument, stronghold, temple, and village. Desert temples, jungle temples, witch huts, and igloos all go under the temple category. So if I just type in /locate temple, located temple at -2376, -1736. So if I go ahead and teleport to that location, as you can see, I have found a witch hut. Now it will always give you the closest structure of that type. So if I were to look for a village, will tell me where the nearest village is. It is actually not that far away. As you can see, there is indeed a village here. I really like this command. I can almost never find generated structures by myself. This is definitely a helpful thing to have. Now, if the structure you are looking for does not exist in your current dimension, for example, another fortress, it will return a message unable to locate any whatever that structure is feature. We have some new mobs. I guess the first ones we will talk about are illagers. There's 2 different kinds. First off, we have the Vindicator. When you attack him, he pulls out an axe, and holy crap, he's a lot faster than I was expecting. Wow, okay. Please kindly get away from me. Or kill me, that works too. By default, they are only hostile towards players and villagers. As you can see, he's chasing down and just killed a villager who was running away from him. Those are normally the only things they're hostile towards. However, if you name one Johnny, it will attack pretty much everything. This sheep here, it will die, and then that bat will die as soon as he can catch up to it, which he can't, because that bat is running, and by running I mean flying. These things, and by that I mean the ones that aren't Johnny, naturally spawn in a new generated structure that I will talk about later on in this video. If you kill one, they can drop emeralds and sometimes an iron axe. This is an evoker. It spawns these things, which I will talk about later, but it's quite difficult to fight, especially with all these things around. I would recommend having like fully enchanted diamond armor before you actually fight these things, because they were made as sort of an in-game challenge, meaning like after you defeat the Ender Dragon and Wither, then you can probably try to defeat that thing. Evokers drop emeralds and totems upon dying when they die, which doesn't really make much sense, but I'll get into that later. To attack, they will summon Vexes and Fangs. Fangs will always deal 3 hearts of damage upon hitting the player. Like the Vindicators, Evokers are hostile towards villagers, and they like to wave their arms around. These things also spawn in a generated structure that I will talk about later on. Also, if you spawn a sheep and you dye it blue, they will turn it red. This is a Vex. It just fell through the ground. They spawn when summoned by evokers, as you have seen. They can fly and phase through blocks and are hackers. Now when they are about to attack you, they show red marks and they just kind of charge at you. They do 4 hearts of damage. Oh god, please stop it. Just like seeing everything else in this game, they attack villagers, and villagers run away from them. This is a llama. They spawn in extreme hills biomes. They have multiple different textures. They can be babies. They attack by spitting at you, which is kind of gross, but also accurate. Every special does half a heart of damage. They are always aggressive towards wolves. If you put a lead on one, other llamas will start following it around. Caravan llamas are passive towards all mobs, even wolves. This is an observer. It originated in the Pocket Edition of Minecraft. It behaves slightly differently in this version due to how redstone works. When it detects a block update, it outputs a redstone signal. If you go to a crafting table and you put a chest in the middle and shulker shells around it, you will get a shulker box, a purple shulker box to be specific. It works kind of like a chest does, except when you break it, none of the items pop out, and if you place it again, they're still there. But it is not like an ender chest because each shulker box can have different contents. Shulker boxes cannot be placed inside other shulker boxes. When hovered over in your inventory, it will show up to 5 slots of its contents. If you try to push it with a piston, it will break. You can place it on different sides of a block to have it open in different directions. However, if there is a block in the way, it will not open. You can also dye shulker boxes. Dyed shulker boxes have a slightly darker bottom part than a normal one. You can place shulker boxes using a dispenser. It can be mined with anything, however, you will notice that it takes quite a while for it to break with using your hand. However, mining it with a pickaxe is much faster than mining it normally. Spawnings that were removed in 1.10 pre-release number 2 were re-added, such as the wither skeleton, the mule, the skeleton horse, the zombie horse, the donkey, the elder guardian, the stray, and the husk. There are also 4 new spawn eggs, 1 for every mob that was added in the update. This is a shulker shell. It has a 50% chance of being dropped by a shulker when that shulker dies. Also, as I showed earlier, you can catch 2 of them in a chest and a crafting table to make a shulker box. This is a totem of undying. Evokers will always drop one of these when they die, which doesn't make any sense, because if you hold it in your hand when you die, it will bring you back to life with absorption and regeneration. That totem of undying will not protect you from /kill or the void. This is a new type of map. They can only be obtained from a new type of villager, and they are used to locate ocean monuments and the new woodland mansions. Ocean Explorer maps are slightly blue, while Woodland Explorer maps are slightly brown. It works like a regular map, but it shows you the outlines of land and a single structure icon. It fills the map in with blocks once you start exploring the area shown. When resized, it will still show the structure icon, but it will lose the outlines. As you can see, if you look in the corner, I am quite far away. The smaller the dot is, the further away you are. If you are over 1,024 blocks away from the structure, the dot will go from a small icon to a bigger one. This is a woodland mansion. They generate in root forest biomes. This is where villagers spawn. They have 3 floors. The bottom 2 floors are pretty large. The 3rd floor is smaller. They all have random layouts, actually. They use procedural generation and structure blocks. Now, because of the way they are generated, some rooms have no entrance. Tab completion results are now sorted alphabetically. The reset keys button and the done button swapped places on the control screen. The required pack version number for resource packs was changed to 3 in packed items meta. Version 3 resource packs have to use lowercase file names for everything. In snooper settings, this now sets feed us data instead of machine specs selection. They also changed the description. Entity IDs, block IDs, and item IDs are no longer case sensitive. Also, as you might have noticed, they now use underscores to separate words, instead of just kind of doing this. Also, if anyone cares, you can now add Minecraft and a colon in front of whatever you're trying to spawn. Instead of just spawning a horse, you have the option to summon a horse, a donkey, a mule, a skeleton horse, or a zombie horse. Similarly, instead of just spawning a regular skeleton, you now have the option to spawn a stray or a wither skeleton. Instead of just a zombie, you can now have zombie villagers and husks. Instead of just summoning a guardian, you can now summon an elder guardian. However, you can no longer summon a mob or a monster. You couldn't anyway, but it doesn't even pretend to give you the option to anymore. As a result of these changes, lots of data tags have been removed. However, some data tags have also been added. Donkeys, mules, husks, zombie villagers, regular villagers, and ender dragons now have their own loot tables. Chat messages can now be 256 characters long, which can be really bad if you have your chat settings all the way up. Some warnings now appear above the hotbar instead of in the chat. For example, item limit for building is 256 blocks. You can only sleep at night. You may not rest now. There are monsters nearby. You may not rest now if the bed is too far away. And other similar messages. Normally, walking and sneaking no longer drains hunger. While swimming, breaking a block, jumping, attacking an enemy, taking damage that was normally protected by armor, jumping while sprinting, and regenerating health drains less hunger than it did before. You can now use more items as fuel in furnaces, including wool, carpet, ladders, wooden buttons, bows, fishing rods, signs, poles, doors, and boats. Shields now block 100% as opposed to 66% of the damage dealt in melee combat. Elder Guardian and Zombie Villager subtitles are now distinct from regular Zombie and regular Guardian subtitles. Your hunger bar is now visible while riding in a minecart or boat. Using /give, you can now get 64 of any item, even if that item isn't normally stackable. Block states can now be used in commands. Cobblestone walls and quasi-cobblestone walls are now in a decoration block tab of the creative mode inventory instead of the building blocks tab. The color of the durability bar is now bright even when it's about to break. Elishas are now visible on mobs. You can now use the pick block function to get farmland in creative mode. Fishing rods will now cast out or reel in when right-clicking on fences. You can now properly use maps in the end. Using commands to give yourself a potion with no data tags now gives you an uncraftable potion. It has no animation, it's magenta, and it does absolutely nothing when you drink it. You can also give yourself a lingering uncraftable potion, a splash uncraftable potion, and an uncraftable tipped arrow. Shields will now keep their enchantments and durability when combined with banners. In the creative mode inventory, spawn eggs are now sorted alphabetically. When dragging items in the inventory, you can no longer get a stack of 0. Whenever you place a block with a custom name and then break it and pick it back up, it will keep its custom name. When you're crafting a banner and you're trying to give it a pattern, you now have to dye it as well. If you put a spawn egg in a dispenser facing upwards, it will now spawn the mob above the dispenser. When spawning a boat with a dispenser, it will now face the right direction. Flower hitboxes are now actually accurate. You can finally take potted plants out of pots. When breaking leaves, the particles that come out of them actually match the biome that they're in. If you place a trapdoor next to active redstone, it will open. Hitting a blaze with a splash water bottle will now actually damage it. Chickens now have necks. Easily the most exciting update in this entire thing. If you hit a creeper with a splash potion, and then that creeper explodes, the potion effect will linger. And portal gateways now have magenta beams when you're transporting through them. Just like blazes, Endermen will now take damage from splash water bottles. Oh shit. If you kill a guardian with fire, it will now drop cooked fish. Elder guardians will now drop a wet sponge instead of a dry sponge. Skeleton and zombie horse drops are now affected by looting. The chance of spawning a skeleton horse with a lightning bolt is now 1/5 of what it was before. Saddled pigs can now be renamed to name tags. Rabbit drops are now affected by the looting enchantment. You can now use data tags to spawn a shulker with a different color. Also, you can spawn shulkers on different sides of blocks. Now, if you shear snow golems, save the game, and then reload the world, the snow golem will stay sheared. Villagers can now be named with name tags. Farmer villagers can now sell up to 7 apples. They can also sell up to 10 cookies. There are new cartographer villagers. Trade with them to get explorer maps. Green road villagers now spawn naturally in villages, and they're called nitwit, and you can't trade with them. So in other words, they're basically useless. You saw nothing. Withers with custom names now show their names in their health bar. Along with the nitwit villagers, we now have nitwit zombie villagers as well. Now, when you summon an arrow, you have a new data tag that determines whether it does a critical hit or not. Last and, let's be honest, probably least, 269 different bugs were fixed. If you people have enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you have anything to say about this video, leave a comment. If you have any suggestions for future videos, whether in a game or in real life, let me know in a comment or a private message. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you people next time. Bye. Cobblestone walls and mighty cobblestones are now in... Cobblestone walls and mighty cobblestone walls are now in a decoration blocks tab of the creative inventory instead of the building blocks tab. Cobblestone walls and mighty cobblestone walls are now in the decoration blocks tab of the creative mode inventory rather than the cobblestone walls and mighty cobblestone walls are now in the decoration blocks tab of the creative inventory rather than the build. Fuck. If you place the trapdoor next to active redstone. Shit. If you kill a guardian with fire, it will now drop cooked fish. If you kill a guardian with fire, it will now drop cooked fish. If you... This is gonna be fun to edit.